This is an easy trick to produce a delicious and very unusual side dish, or just as a flavorful garnish. While you can use this method with quite a few different greens, my two favorites are arugula and bok choy leaves, just the tender leaves mind you. It takes almost no time to prepare, and once you have it sitting in a bowl, you can leave it out at room temperature for hours until you need it. This goes really well with steak, and even better with duck as a side dish, and a very unexpected one at that, being like a dry, crumbly powder on the palate, but rich with flavor.
So I've got arugula here I'm going to use for this demonstration. The first thing you need to do is go through and pick out any really large and heavy stems for this. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me doing this. It's a fairly tedious task, but you got to make sure that there's no really big fat stems in here. And again, the more you can make this about the leaves and not about the stems, the better the result will be. Now I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of cornstarch to this. Mix it around just a little bit. It's evenly coated. That's fine. There's another stem. Get rid of that. Okay. And now we add a little olive oil. The exact amount, you need about a tablespoon for every 50 grams of greens, but you know, you can approximate because it really doesn't matter. If you're a little bit off, it'll still be fine. Okay. Dump it out onto metal baking tray. You see some more stems here. It's another opportunity to get rid of them. Again, the fewer stems, the better this will be in the end. Okay. Spread it out, and now this is going to go into the oven. And after about 25-30 minutes, this is what you end up with, something fairly dry. We're going to transfer this to a bowl, and then we add a little salt to it. Crush it up a little bit. Very dry right now. And there we have our finished product as either a side dish or as a garnish.
I'm very pleased to announce the release of Volume 3, The Focus on Food Chemistry. I want to clear up a few things about these 3 volumes. First, they all contain completely different information. There's no duplication, they're not revisions. When I wrote Volume 1, I had 2.5 years of YouTube videos to cover. People had been asking me for the printed list of ingredients for all of those dishes, and so I obliged. There are recipes with stepwise directions and many tips offered throughout, as well as an extensive history of Russian cuisine over the last 1,000 years, but Volume 1 is very different from Volume 2 and 3. In Volumes 2 and 3, I only had about 9 months of YouTube recipes to cover in each, so I was able to provide stepwise directions for everything. In Volume 2, I included a lot of additional information about cooking and some simple examples of flavor chemistry to set the stage for Volume 3. While Volume 2 hopefully got you thinking about some of the processes that go on in cooking and how flavors are expressed and sensed at the molecular level, the topic was painted with pretty broad strokes to make it easy to digest. Pun intended. Volume 3 is a milestone of the series, in which I have included an entire introductory course in food chemistry, which is why Volume 3 is about 70 pages longer than Volume 2. And if you just want the recipes, that's okay too. You don't have to read the first few chapters, but if you've ever been curious about what influences tastes and flavors and the rationale for deciding cooking times and temperatures and why things taste different when they're combined in different ways, this book will answer many of those questions. It also paves the way for Volume 4, which will be next year. If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link.
Also Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.